Welcome to TRS Clips, where you'll find happiness through your own curiosity. What is your main message to Indians at this point in the Indian timeline? I know it's a very general, very open question, but that's exactly how I'd like to begin.
Well, you've really opened up the vista on this one. But anyway, look, it's pretty obvious to anyone that we are at some major turning point in our history, right? There's something clearly different about what we are going through. As a civilization, we are coming back. So, I work in the government. I'm an economic advisor to the Prime Minister. But let me say that I'm very conscious that I'm not just rebuilding an economy. I'm rebuilding a civilization after hundreds of years of decline. So while we talk about the fact that in the next 24 months, we'll be the world's third largest economy, clearly India's position in the geopolitical hierarchy is clearly rapidly going up, and we can discuss that later. But it is more than just that. I mean, whether it's the rebuilding of the temple in Ayodhya, or the way we are engaging with our own history, and so on, you can feel that something different is happening, and our generation is lucky to be here to have seen it.
Okay, after you've created this internet presence of yours, I think over the last year, it's increased.
It's increased, yeah, it's certainly increased.
And maybe perhaps this is a question which comes straight out of my heart because this is a content challenge I deal with.
Yeah.
Like you just spoke about the temple in Ayodhya.
Yes.
And I completely understand the perspective you're coming from.
Yeah.
But there's a big section of Indian urban audiences that understand English who'll possibly switch off from this conversation just because you've said temple in Ayodhya.
Well, I think that section of society is quite small. And I think it's important that people understand what that temple represents. I think too much is placed on the idea that, oh my God, there was a mosque there. I mean, look, there has been a very long period of struggle to rebuild this temple. Then there was a legal process to do it, and the temple was built. And I think most reasonable people, including Muslims, accept that at least the major centers of Hindu worship that were destroyed during the period of Turkic invasion and Mongol occupation should be now allowed to be rebuilt. And by the way, just 3 weeks after the rebuilding of the temple in Ayodhya, Prime Minister Modi visited the UAE and inaugurated a temple in Abu Dhabi, right? If the Emiratis don't have a problem with building a temple in Ayodhya or in their own country, I don't see why so-called Indian urban seculars need to get so worked up about it.
Do you guys keep a track of journalists who are constantly spreading a narrative about, the Modi government is anti-Muslim and all that? Like, I'm sure this news reaches you guys. But
no, it's you just have to be on Twitter to know this narrative. But I think increasingly this narrative sounds hollow. And I mean, clearly India's relations with the Middle East have never been this good. I'm not just talking about the relationship with the UAE, but whether it's Oman or Saudi Arabia or even, Qatar. I mean, we have historically not had great relations with them. But, in the very recent past, we have, 8 of our Navy personnel who had been put in prison there have been released. Prime Minister personally went to Qatar and so on. So our relations basically with Muslim countries have actually improved. In fact, they're the best ever. So I think we are unnecessarily, playing this on the back foot earlier. Other countries are fully capable of understanding the way we are thinking. If we are clear about what we are trying to do, what we are asking for is not very extreme. And we are going about it in a very systematic, legal, constitutional way of saying that, look, here are some important Hindu temples. They were destroyed in the course of history, and I don't think it's very unreasonable to have them re-established.
Hey, if you enjoyed today's clip, make sure you check out all the other clips we've uploaded on this channel. You'll find a clip related to almost every single topic as long as you're willing to search for it.